Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is MG Owners Australia and I'm Dimitri, and today we are going to compare MG HS Essence with its probably only worthy competitor, also from a Chinese manufacturer, Great Wall Motors, HAVAL H6. Both cars are kind of positioning themselves as these mid-size SUVs, I suppose. Let's see which one is more of an SUV. Obviously, to my subjective liking, as I represent an average Joe and Jane out there, private owners. Let's take a closer look at it. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to take a test drive in a HAVAL H6, which was kindly provided to me by one of the dealers here in Sydney area, Sutton's Homebush. Very nice people, very friendly people. So they have given me a HAVAL H6 for a test drive, which I'm going to take a very close look at from the perspectives of driver's comfort, steering wheel, power of the car, the visibility, how do you sit in the car. So all of those ergonomics, everything that is, I think, realistically applicable to a private owner, to someone who will use the car day by day. How does it compare to this car? How does it compare to my MG HS Essence? Of course, this is top of the range, and I will be test driving mid-range HAVAL H6 Lux model, which is still quite nice. So yeah, I'm not going to, by the way, before we go any further, I'm not going to stop and debate and discuss for a long time the looks of the car, because the looks, I think, are always very subjective. And spoiler alert, I like both for different reasons. I like my MG HS Essence for how elegant it is, and I like HAVAL H6 for how much more SUV-like and feel it is compared to MG HS. From what I've seen, so I've taken the car for a drive. It's been kindly given to me by the Sutton's Homebush dealership to have a test drive, take a look around the car. For now, I can say to you that the initial impressions from driving HAVAL H6 are very positive. I like also an attempted premium feel of the car inside. I like the finishes. I like what they tried to do with these Great Wall Motors. I like that it's sort of leathery. It's not all plasticky, it's not all cheap, at least in this Lux model, which is the mid-range, I think, HAVAL H6 model. It's not the base model, but it's not Ultra either. Ultra pushes a little bit higher into higher price category, but this is the mid-range thing. This doesn't have, Lux model does not have the sunroof, so sunroof is off. It has leather seats, and from what I can see, these leather seats are probably vinyl. I don't think that they are real leather. I think it's a faux leather. I do not think it's a real leather like it is an MG HS Essence, if that matters to you. I mean, to some people it might. I also found that during the drive, kind of just very fresh impressions for you right now, my friends, I found that during the drive, the seats, I suppose, are not just quite as comfortable as MG HS. Maybe I got used to my MG HS, but they are not quite as comfortable. They are not offering quite as tight side support here to the lower back kind of area. MG HS almost holds you there, as if someone holds you with a hand nicely, and that's a good thing. Here it's a little more, there is a little more wiggle room. Also, as you can see, the seats do not have any other sort of textural perforation there in the base. These seats do not look like they are heated to me. My MG HS seats and MG ZST seats are heated, so I have not had a chance to test this. And once again, we are kind of comparing here the finer details of the mid-range SUV here, MG HS HAVAL H6 Lux, versus the top range MG HS Essence. So I guess that's where those little finer things are very different. What I also prefer in MG HS, we will just get that out of the way straight away. What I prefer in MG HS Essence versus HAVAL H6 Lux is the steering wheel. Steering wheel is attempted to be a little more premium than HAVAL H6 base model. It kind of has this stitching here. It kind of has a little bit of this leathery feel to it. It feels okay. It does feel a tiny bit, almost like your hand feels it, but I don't know how a measurement, if we had some form of a ruler here to measure it. It feels tiny bit thinner in your hand, and I like thicker steering wheels. Me personally, if you like slightly thicker feel of a steering wheel, it gives you more premium feel and like it's a bit more sporty, it's a bit more chunky in your hands. MGHS Essence wins there again, and the quality of leather, quality of stitching, the basically premium feel of a steering wheel. If it's important to you as a driver who will spend a lot of time behind the steering wheel, I do think that MGHS Essence wins there again. Here it's a good attempt by HAVAL, but I don't think that HAVAL's quality is quite there compared to how MGHS Essence steering wheel feels. Now, I have not tested properly the infotainment system of HAVAL H6, but it looks like the screen, first of all, the screen is considerably smaller. I really like the quality of 360-degree camera in MGHS Essence, but I also am quite very much impressed with the quality of the 360-degree camera in HAVAL H6. It really is high quality, fine picture. Really like it. And it turns on exactly similarly as you slow down and start turning left, start turning right. It shows to you exactly that turn lane and everything else that you need to see. Again, to wrap up, I suppose, the negatives of the H6 HAVAL compared to MGHS Essence, my MGHS top of the range. It is the finishes. It is in the finishes. Everything looks solid, feels solid enough, so there is no problems with that. It's not plasticky, yet it is on the cheaper range of leathery attempt to finish this, if it makes any sense. Everything is there. It looks good. It looks all right. But at the same time, compared to my MGHS, compared to just how much they've put into that attempt to make the finishes super premium, feels super premium, it's just not quite there. Comparable, definitely comparable, which is why I'm calling HAVAL H6 a legit good competition to MGHS, but on the finishes, it's not quite there. So on the comfort, on the driver's comfort, and on the finishes, MGHS wins. Now, you know I'm a sucker for car ergonomics, how convenient the car is to use. And no, I have not driven this HAVAL long enough to give you a long-term review, but for what it's worth, my friends, if we even look at this central panel here, or a central panel that is very well within reach of my arm and everything, I much prefer HAVAL H6 central panel to my MGHS. Absolutely, but like it wins hands down. Look at just how much storage space there is here. I absolutely freaking love it. To throw in your phone, to throw in your wallet, to throw in bits and pieces, keys, anything else you might have into the bottom section here, which is very smartly used. I think it is so smart of them to make use and give you two massive, what feels like massive shelves, massive panels here compared to what I get in my top of the range MGHS. I can't believe that MGHS top of the range could not come up with something like that for us. This is just disappointing, honestly. HAVAL, in this particular case, as far as ergonomics, as far as the usability, maybe it's not per se ergonomics, but usability of this central panel is fantastic. While we're here on this central panel, you can see that it's this unusual, very shiny, kind of gimmicky, I'm gonna say, gimmicky shifter of the gears. So this rotary shifter of the gears is fancy looking. It makes you feel kind of like you are in the car that is a modern car rather than some old legacy type of car. Look, I have no issues with the more traditional, more premium leathery gear shifter of MGHS. I don't have any issues with that, but I have to take a nod towards this and say, this is cool, this is all right, I quite like this. Nobody likes this piano black plastic as it's being referred to in every video that I've seen for other reviews of other cars. I'm gonna also share my opinion on this. It doesn't offend me as much. Yes, I can see the dust particles here accumulating very fast on the elements of these that exist in MGHS, as well as here. Here there is a lot of it in HAVAL H6. There is a lot of that kind of stuff. Now this central panel, central box, whatever you want to refer to it as, the storage box here in the middle, it doesn't look like it's a cooler box, while MGHS Essence, if it's important to you, it actually is a bit of a cooling thing. So you could put something there that requires a little bit of cooling. I wouldn't call it a fridge, but that functionality is not here, at least not in the Lux model of H6. Sorry, HS and H6. I keep getting confused because it's so close. Now, very quickly, where does HAVAL H6 Lux model win, in my humble opinion of a private owner, personal driver, kind of non-dealer angle? When I look at both cars, where does it win over HS Essence? First of all, it wins on power. MG HS Essence, at least the one that I have, has a 1.5 turbo petrol engine, which is okay, it does okay, but then you sit into this, which is a 2.0 liter turbo petrol engine, and you can feel the difference. Trust me. The way the transmission works, and I have not brushed up on my technical specs of HAVAL H6, unfortunately, because I'm not a professional reviewer, it's just a casual little review. I would say that it is definitely, it might be dual clutch, like I do not know if it's dual clutch, but it is smoother and, if I dare say, slower. So as far as shifting gears and gaining speed, I would say MG HS Essence appears to be doing it faster. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is just perception from a drive that I did. This one is a little more, it's a little slower and smoother. There is no jerkiness. There is definitely power behind this pull, but the gaining of the speed in HAVAL H6 is slower, which doesn't bother me, by the way. It doesn't bother me, but it has to be mentioned to you, if it matters to you especially. What else would I say? You sit definitely higher. I do not know exact technical measurements, but as a driver's impression is concerned, you do feel like you are considerably higher. I would say, I don't know, 5-7 centimeters eye line higher here than you feel in MGHS, and I like it. The visibility is great, comparable to MGHS. MGHS visibility is amazing. Here it's good too. But in addition to that, you also feel when the cars pass you on the side, when you're driving past the cars, you do feel like you sit higher. It's kind of like, if I had to roughly compare, you're probably at the eye line of a driver in Honda CR-V perhaps, or maybe even a tiny bit taller, even a tiny bit higher. And I like that. I do like sitting. In all honesty, me personally, the higher I am in the car, the better. For me. I don't know, maybe it is not for you, but for me, it's great. So the power and the height of position, I quite like that. But as you can see, even just sitting here recording this little review, I have to adjust myself in this seat because it doesn't feel just as comfortable as, it's not bad, but my back, while I was sitting here talking to you with the windows closed and the engine off, my back is getting a bit sweaty, for example. Like, so that all, I suppose, needs to be taken into consideration, especially if it is something that you would pay attention to, if it matters to you. Again, let's summarize. On finishes, on the leathery elements, on the finishes of everything inside of the car, MGHS Essence clearly wins, in my opinion. In terms of the size, which is a tiny bit bigger for H6 HAVAL, and in terms of the height positioning of the just the driver's position, in my opinion, humble opinion, HAVAL H6 wins because it's bigger and higher. I have not properly reviewed the boot. I have not properly reviewed the passenger space here. It seems like there is a lot of space here. Again, it seems like maybe, and we might save it for some other time, maybe in MGHS there is a bit more and a bit more comfortable and a bit more luxurious with the adjustment of the tilt of the rear bench here in terms of where it is. But then on the size, on the dimensions, on other kind of stuff, as much as it feels more like an SUV as opposed to just a luxurious, slightly lifted car. So on the SUV rankings, on the SUV feel, HAVAL H6 wins. On the luxury and finishes, MGHS wins. And this is it for today, my friends. Did you enjoy my little overview of HAVAL H6? I know it was a little bit off the cuff and not particularly scripted, but this is what this channel is all about. And if you like what you see, if you're new here, I really appreciated all the support from all of you who have decided to join me on this journey in this little club of MG owners Australia, and who subscribe to the channel, who leave comments, who like the videos, who request new videos and that kind of stuff. Join us, be one of us. Share your thoughts. Do you drive a HAVAL? Do you have better experience with HAVAL? Can you share some more light onto this? Because obviously I don't own a car, so I can't really properly compare one-to-one, because I know now a fair bit about my MGs. And again, as I summarized in the HAVAL section of this video, as I summarized, in my opinion, MG still wins in terms of finishes and in terms of the luxury feel and how the drivers and creatures comforts are implemented in this car. Yes, Essence is top of the range, and Lux of HAVAL H6 is mid-range. Yeah, I think I acknowledged it many times enough, but still, this is the same roughly price category. We are getting this for about 36,000 Australian dollars. We are getting that for about 36,000 Australian dollars. So here is top of the range, there it's mid-range. That is what justifies my comparison. Would love to hear more from you, to talk about, you know, what your experiences with both cars potentially, and if you have any questions for me. Let's speak next time. For now, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and see you in the next video.